A man in rural Texas posted a video last winter that made half the internet stop scrolling. He held up a small solar panel no bigger than a laptop and said it cost him $60. Then he said something even bigger. He said this panel, paired with the right setup, kept his lights on, his fridge running, and his phone charged during a 3-day blackout. No generator, no fuel, no noise, just sunlight and $60 of hardware. Within a week, that video had over 11 million views. People were furious. People were fascinated. People were convinced it was a scam. And a lot of people wanted to know the same thing you probably want to know right now. Is this real? Can a panel that cheap actually power a house? Stick with me for the next few minutes, because the answer is not what you expect, and it is not a simple yes or no. Before we go further, if you like stories that dig past the headline and get to the real mechanics of how things work, hit subscribe now, because this channel breaks down exactly that every single week, without the hype. So let's start with the obvious question. How can a $60 panel do anything close to powering a house when a full home solar system usually costs $15,000 to $25,000? That gap is not small, that gap is enormous. And when something looks that far outside the normal range, your instinct should be suspicion, not excitement. That instinct is correct, and it is also where this story gets interesting, because the truth sits in the space between total scam and total miracle. It is neither. It is something most people never learned about, because it was never marketed to them the way big solar companies market their systems. Here's the first thing you need to understand. A single small solar panel, the kind you can buy for $50 to $80 online, is real. It exists. It is not fake. These panels are usually rated somewhere between 50 and 100 watts. That is a real number, and it is a small number. To put it in perspective, a hairdryer alone can pull over 1,000 watts. A refrigerator can pull anywhere from 100 to 800 watts, depending on the model and the moment the compressor kicks on. So right away, one small panel is not going to run your whole home at once, especially not the appliances that draw heavy power. Anyone telling you otherwise, without more context, is either exaggerating or leaving out details on purpose. But here is where the story shifts, because the man in that video was not lying about what happened to him. He just was not telling the whole story in 30 seconds. Because 30-second videos are not built for whole stories. What he actually had, and what it took people digging through his other videos to figure out, was a system. The panel was only the entry point. Behind that $60 panel was a battery bank he had slowly built over almost 2 years, buying used lithium cells off online marketplaces, salvaging them from broken laptops, old power tools, and returned electric bikes that stores were throwing out because the battery no longer held a full charge. He was not buying a battery system for $2,000. He was building one, cell by cell, for pennies on the dollar, using knowledge that took him months to learn from forums most people never open. This is where the story stops being about a panel and starts being about something bigger. It is about a growing movement of people who realized that the expensive part of home solar was never really the panels. Panel prices have crashed over the last 15 years, dropping by well over 80% from where they used to be. What stayed expensive was everything else: the batteries, the inverters, the installation labor, the permits, the middlemen. When companies sell you a full rooftop solar system for $20,000, a large chunk of that price is not the sunlight-catching hardware. It is the packaging, the warranty, the sales team, and the professional installation crew standing on your roof. Strip all of that away, and the raw components become dramatically cheaper than most homeowners ever realize. That does not mean it is easy. It does not mean it is safe for everyone to attempt. Working with battery cells, especially lithium ones pulled from used devices, carries real risk if you do not know what you are doing. There are documented cases of poorly built battery packs catching fire because someone skipped a safety step or used a cheap charge controller that could not handle the load. This is not a hobby you casually jump into on a weekend. The people who succeed at this spend months learning wiring, voltage balancing, and fire safety before they ever flip a switch. So when you see a viral video showing off a cheap solar setup, you're usually seeing the finished result of a long, careful, sometimes dangerous learning process, not a plug-and-play miracle box you can buy and immediately trust. Still, the underlying idea refuses to go away, because it touches something people are feeling everywhere right now. Electricity bills have been climbing. Power grids have been failing during extreme weather, from Texas ice storms to California wildfire shutoffs to hurricane blackouts along the Gulf Coast. People are tired of feeling powerless, literally and financially, and they are looking for any path that gives them back some control. That is exactly why this video exploded. Not because everyone believed a $60 panel would run their whole house tomorrow, but because it cracked open a door. It suggested that maybe, just maybe, the traditional path of paying tens of thousands of dollars to a solar company is not the only path that exists. And that raises the real question we are going to spend the rest of this video answering. If the panel itself is genuinely cheap, and prices keep falling every year, What is actually stopping ordinary families from building their own low-cost power backup, piece by piece, the same way this man did? Is it purely a matter of risk and knowledge? Or is there something else standing in the way that nobody likes to talk about? Because once you understand what is really happening behind these viral solar claims, you start to see a pattern repeating across the entire energy industry. One that explains why some technologies stay expensive far longer than they need to, and why the people who figure out the workaround end up years ahead of everyone else. That pattern is where we are headed next, and once you see it, you will not look at your own power bill the same way again. Let's pick up exactly where we left off, because there is a pattern hiding behind this whole solar panel story, and once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere in the energy world. The pattern is simple. The core technology gets cheap fast. The systems built around that technology stay expensive on purpose, or at least stay expensive because almost nobody bothers to challenge the default way of doing things. Solar panels are the clearest example of this happening in real time, right in front of us, over the last 2 decades. Back in 2010, a single watt of solar panel capacity cost around $2. Today, that same watt costs somewhere around 20 to 30 cents, depending on where you buy it and in what quantity. That is a massive drop, driven mostly by manufacturing scale in countries that mass-produce these panels by the millions. Factories got bigger, materials got cheaper, and the process got more efficient. This is not a secret. This is publicly available manufacturing data that anyone can look up. So the panels genuinely did get radically cheaper. That part of the viral video was true, even if the framing around it was misleading. But here's the part that rarely gets mentioned. While panel prices fell by over 80%, the average price homeowners pay for a full residential solar installation did not fall anywhere near that much. In many cases, total installed cost per watt only dropped by a fraction of that amount. Why? Because the panels themselves became a smaller and smaller slice of the total bill, while labor, permitting, sales commissions, and financing costs became a bigger and bigger slice. Some industry reports have shown that hardware, meaning the panels and batteries combined, can represent less than half of what a homeowner actually pays for a full system. The rest goes to everything surrounding the hardware. That gap between the falling cost of raw materials and the stubborn cost of the finished product sitting on your roof is exactly the gap that people like the man in that viral video are trying to exploit, in a completely legal and increasingly common way. This is not some fringe idea limited to one guy in Texas. Over the last several years, a quiet but steadily growing community has formed around what people call off-grid power on a budget. These are not wealthy tech enthusiasts buying Tesla battery walls for $10,000. These are regular working people, mechanics, retirees, single parents, who got tired of watching their utility bills climb every summer and decided to teach themselves the basics of small-scale solar. They started small, often with exactly the kind of cheap panel that went viral, using it to charge a single battery, running one lamp or one fan or one phone charger. Then, once they understood the fundamentals and gained confidence, they expanded. A second panel, a bigger battery bank, a charge controller that could handle more load. Over a year or two, some of them ended up with systems that could genuinely carry a chunk of their home's daily electricity needs, built for a fraction of what a licensed installer would have charged them. Now, I want to be very clear here, because this is where a lot of online content gets dishonest, and I am not going to do that to you. These home-built systems are not the same thing as a professionally installed, code-compliant, insurance-approved solar setup. When a licensed company installs solar on your roof, part of what you are paying for is safety, proper grounding, correct wiring that will not spark a fire, compliance with your local electrical code, which exists because people died before those codes were written, a warranty that protects you if a panel fails after 3 years, insurance coverage that stays valid because your home meets code. When someone builds their own system in their garage, they are taking on all of that risk personally. If something goes wrong, there's often no warranty, no professional liability, and depending on your area, potentially no insurance coverage at all if the setup was not permitted. This is the trade-off nobody puts in a 30-second viral clip. Cheaper cost, higher personal risk, and it requires real-time investment to learn how to do it safely. So why are so many people doing it anyway? Because for a growing number of families, the alternative feels worse. Picture someone living in a hurricane-prone area of Florida who has lost power for a week or more, multiple times in the last 5 years, watching hundreds of dollars of food spoil in their fridge each time it happens. Picture someone in rural areas where the nearest utility crew can take days to reach a downed line after a storm. Picture someone simply watching their monthly electric bill creep up year after year, feeling like they have no way to fight back against a company that sets the price and controls the meter. For people in situations like that, the idea of even partial independence, even just enough backup power to keep a fridge and a few lights running during an outage, is worth the effort of learning something new and worth the risk of building it themselves. This is also where the real business opportunity in this trend starts to reveal itself. And it is not the one most people assume. It is not really about individual panels. It is about information and about components. Notice something interesting. Search traffic for terms related to small solar setups, battery building, and off-grid basics has been climbing steadily for the past several years, especially spiking every time there is a major grid failure event in the news. Companies that sell components, panels, charge controllers, battery management systems have seen consistent growth in this segment, even while the giant, expensive, fully installed solar industry has faced slower periods tied to interest rates and financing costs. When it becomes expensive to borrow money, fewer people sign up for a $20,000 financed solar installation. But almost anyone can find $60 for a single panel and start learning. That affordability is exactly why this segment keeps growing even when the broader solar industry slows down. There's also a technology shift happening quietly in the background that is making all of this more realistic than it would have been even 5 years ago. And it has almost nothing to do with the panels themselves. It has to do with batteries. And lithium battery costs have fallen dramatically as electric vehicles pushed global battery manufacturing to a massive scale. That price drop trickled down into the used and secondhand battery cell market, the exact market that people building home systems rely on. Old electric bike batteries, old power tool batteries, and even battery packs pulled from retired electric vehicles are increasingly available at low prices because the industry that makes new batteries is now enormous and constantly replacing older stock. This is the quiet engine behind the entire trend. Cheap panels get the attention and the viral views, but cheap batteries are what actually make a usable backup system possible. Put all of that together, and you start to see this is not really a story about one clever guy in Texas with a $60 panel. It is a story about a slow, steady shift in who controls access to electricity and how that access is priced. For most of modern history, if you wanted reliable backup power, you needed either a loud gas generator that required fuel you had to keep buying, or a professionally installed solar system costing tens of thousands of dollars that only certain households could afford. Now, for the first time, there is a real, if risky and labor-intensive, third path opening up in between those two options. And once you understand that path exists, the next question becomes obvious. Where is this actually heading? What does it mean for the price you pay for electricity 5 or 10 years from now? And is there a smarter, safer version of this trend that ordinary people can actually use without teaching themselves electrical engineering first? So let's bring this all the way home because everything we've walked through points toward one bigger truth that most people are missing. This was never really a story about a $60 panel. It was a story about a shift in power, and I mean that in both senses of the word. For decades, the average family had exactly two choices when it came to electricity: pay whatever the utility company charged every single month, with no real leverage to push back, or pay a massive upfront cost to a solar installation company, often financed over 15 or 20 years, just to gain a little bit of independence. Those were the only two doors. Now a third door has quietly opened, and it is being built not by giant corporations, but by ordinary people, sharing what they learn with each other, one video and one forum post at a time. That does not mean this third door is right for everyone, and I want to be honest with you about that before we close this out. If you are not mechanically inclined, if you do not have time to spend learning about voltage, wiring safety, and battery management, then building your own system from scratch carries real risk that is not worth taking lightly. A poorly built battery pack is not a minor inconvenience. It can be a genuine fire hazard inside your own home. This is not me trying to scare you away from the idea. It is me respecting you enough to tell you the full picture, instead of only the exciting half that gets millions of views. The honest truth sits right in the middle. This trend is real, it is growing, and it is also not a shortcut you can take without effort or risk. But here's what makes this bigger than just a personal project for a handful of hobbyists. When enough ordinary people start solving a problem outside the traditional system eventually has to respond. We have seen this pattern before in other industries. When people started building their own computers instead of only buying pre-built ones from big brands, an entire market of affordable components grew around them. When people started fixing their own cars using online tutorials instead of relying only on dealership service centers, a massive secondary market for parts and knowledge exploded to meet that demand. The same thing appears to be happening now in home energy. As more people learn to build small and low-cost backup systems, companies are noticing. Some are already starting to sell simpler, safer, beginner-friendly kits designed specifically for people who want some of this independence without needing to become an electrician first. That is where this trend is heading. Not toward everyone building battery packs in their garage from salvaged laptop cells forever, but toward a middle ground where affordable, semi-do-it-yourself power backup becomes a normal, accepted option, sitting right next to the traditional generator and the traditional full solar install. Think about what that actually means for the average household 5 or 10 years from now. Right now, if the power goes out during a storm, Most families either sit in the dark and wait, or they run out and buy an expensive, loud, gas-hungry generator that sits unused in a garage for 11 months of the year. In the version of the future this trend is pointing toward, a much larger share of households might have a modest battery and panel setup. Not powerful enough to run a whole house, but powerful enough to keep the essentials alive. The fridge stays cold, the phones stay charged, the lights stay on in at least 1 or 2 rooms. And it becomes normal knowledge, something people learn the way earlier generations learned basic car maintenance or basic home repairs, not something reserved for a small group of hardcore enthusiasts. There is also a bigger economic ripple sitting underneath all of this, one that connects directly back to why this channel exists in the first place. Every time a technology becomes cheap enough for ordinary people to build it themselves, it puts quiet pressure on the companies that used to control that technology completely. If more households can generate even a portion of their own backup power for a few $100s instead of paying thousands to a contractor, that changes the leverage in the relationship between families and their utility companies. It does not eliminate the power grid. Nobody is claiming that. But it chips away at total dependence, and total dependence is exactly what has allowed utility prices to climb steadily for years, with very little real resistance from consumers. A family that has even a partial backup system is a family with a little more room to say no, to wait, to shop around, to not feel trapped when the bill goes up again. So when you strip away the viral hook and the dramatic 30-second clip, what you're actually looking at is a genuine early signal of change. Not a scam, and not a miracle either. A real gradual shift being driven from the bottom up by ordinary people who got tired of feeling powerless over their own electricity in the most literal sense of that word. The $60 panel was never magic. It was a door. What people choose to build behind that door, carefully, safely, and with real knowledge, is where the actual story lives. Now I want to hear directly from you, because this is exactly the kind of trend where your experience matters more than any script I could write. Have you ever looked into building your own small solar or battery backup setup, even just to run a fridge or a few lights during a power outage? Did you try it? Did it work? Did you run into problems nobody warned you about? Or maybe you are on the other side of this, and you think the risk of building your own battery system is simply not worth it for most families. I genuinely want to know where you land, so drop a comment below and tell me your honest take, because the comment section on this video is going to be full of people who have actually lived this, not just watched a viral clip about it. And that is exactly the kind of conversation worth having. And if this video helped you understand what was actually happening behind that $60 panel headline, do me one favor before you go. Share it with one person in your life who has ever complained about their power bill, or who lost power during a storm and felt completely helpless about it. Not because sharing helps some algorithm somewhere, but because this is genuinely useful information that most people never get told in plain, honest language. Somebody in your life needs to hear this exact breakdown today. Send it to them right now, while it is fresh in your mind. And if you want more videos like this one, breaking down the real economics hiding behind viral claims, without the hype and without the nonsense, make sure you are subscribed, because that is exactly what this channel is built to do, week after week. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I will see you in the next one.